Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Mika, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for the amount of views that we got on this video right here. How I became a data analyst. Oh my gosh, we got like almost over 16,000 views on that video. So I am oh so grateful for that, and the support and the comments, and just you guys were so sweet and so kind, and I really do appreciate it. In addition to those views came a lot of questions as well. So I'm the kind of person who don't want to just like ignore you guys' questions, and so I'm the person that's going to go in and try to respond to you guys, but I'm a very detailed person, so I like to like really give you a lot of information. And so some of the same questions was over and over and over, and so I didn't want to just not respond to you guys. So, and then plus on top of that, there's some of the same questions were being asked across the other videos that I had posted as well. So I thought I would come on here today and create you guys a Q&A addressing as many of the common questions that I kept seeing over and over again. And so I'll be more than glad to go into a little bit more detail about it. There will be timestamps down below, so if you just want to skip to your question or whatever, you can definitely do that. Not a problem. So again, I do thank you for your support, but as you already know, I know that your time is valuable, so you know what I'm going to say. Let's jump right into it. So the first question, Python. Alrighty, so one of the things that I got a lot of questions about was Python. They said that you didn't say anything about Python, and so one person said that the vast majority of the jobs that they have been applying for was like 80% were asking for Python. And then one person wanted to know whether or not if she should continue doing Python or should she put it on her resume, and if so, would it be an advantage and at what extent? Python at this particular moment is not required as a data analyst, okay? Because I do not have Python experience. I have knowledge of it, but I do not have experience with it just as of yet. The one thing that is actually required in order for you to become a data analyst, you have to have SQL. There is no way around it. You have to know SQL. You're gonna have to know how to at least be an intermediate coder. But it also depends on the job and the company that will require you to have, that may ask for Python, or they may say it's nice to have, or something like that. In a previous video that I stated, Python is a lot more harder to learn. For the ones who are currently learning Python right now, you're starting to see that Python is a little bit more extensive and a little bit more harder than it is SQL. Okay, I always encourage you to know SQL and then get at least a year or two under your belt and then go ahead and go into Python. But if you're learning both languages, that is perfectly fine. It's just that it is not required for you to become a data analyst. At some point, I do feel like Python will be required in order for you to become a data analyst. So all of my people who are sitting on the fence or saying, I'm inspiring to be an analyst, or I don't, you know what I'm saying, I want to do it, but I don't know. This is the time to do it when Python is not required. Go ahead and learn your SQL, Excel, and your data visualization. Wow, that is all that is needed for right now. And then once it becomes mandatory, or your company decides to migrate over to Python, with that being said, allow your company to pay for your upskilling to learn about Python. Let them pay for it, and then at least then it's not so much pressure on you to make sure that you know it. But again, that really just depends on the company, whether or not if you have to know Python. The last question was, would it be an advantage to put it on my resume? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say this, if you have SQL and Python, that would be more of an advantage than the person who only has just SQL. So yes, it is definitely an advantage for you to be able to have Python, but again, it is not required. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, someone asked me, do I utilize ChatGPT in the field? Yes, I do. And anybody who tells you that they don't, child, okay, that's you. But yes, I do. But you have to be careful using ChatGPT or any type of AI platform. I use ChatGPT in addition to Google Gemini. I like Google Gemini more than I like ChatGPT, because ChatGPT sometimes will do you wrong, child. You just got to be careful. But ChatGPT really is very helpful, okay? But there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to ChatGPT, and I can create a whole video about that. I'm actually have that in my queue to create that, to go more in depth about it and how to actually use it. But I will say this, I am a Power BI developer, as you can clearly see. And my thing is that when I started working for this company, I had to learn Power BI. I use ChatGPT if I'm trying to figure out like a DAX query. Like, so if I'm trying to figure out this certain measure or whatever, and I need it to be written a certain way, or I need the syntax or something like that, I use ChatGPT for that. You have to be very vague about what you ask it, because what you don't want to do is to put your company's column names and tables inside of a worldwide AI platform that is open to everybody in the world. Okay, that, my good friend, will get you fired. Don't go in there and ask it to write your query for you. Now, that's something I definitely do not do. But I can say, what is the syntax? Hey, I got two columns. I need to know the difference between these and days. Can you give me the syntax for that? I know it's date diff, but I kind of forgot how to write it. Oh, right. Okay, so then, you know what I'm saying, I do that. You can use it. You just have to be very vague and very cautious about how you use it. Math and statistics. So a person asked me, a couple people asked me, what type of math do I have to have? Do I have to know statistics? I am not a mathematician, none whatsoever. I'm not gonna lie to you, as a data analyst, you do have to know some sort of math. You have to know how to pretty much find like year over year, month over month, that kind of thing. You have to do some adding and subtracting and all of that. Like, I have one report that I'm currently working on right now, and it's our audit report. And so our audit report basically tells us who passed and who failed their audits. If someone fails their audits, they want to know how long does it take for the person who failed their audit, how long does it take for them to resolve it. They want to know the amount of days it took from the time it failed to the time it resolved. That is a math that I have to query, that I have to write inside of my DAX query. Now, I use a system function and I just write a date diff, and I can do the two dates and then put a comma behind it and put the day, and bam, I'm good. So it could be something simple as that. And then sometimes I may have to do a full-blown on math. You don't have to be a mathematician to do that, honey. Ask ChatGPT, child. He'll tell you. You can use ChatGPT for math. I do. Statistics. Girl, listen, I am not... Girl, I didn't take statistics. No, I did not. I stopped at algebra 2. Data science, that's a whole nother beast. Probably so. But as a data analyst, I did not take statistics, and it was not required for me to take it. That's all I'm going to say about math and statistics. Colberry. So more on the boot camp that I went to. Now, the fact that I talked about the boot camp, going into that, so that leads me to my next question. So I got a lot of questions about, again, what was the name or who was the company that the boot camp that I went to. So the boot camp that I went to is called Colberry, okay? And I'm going to put the link to the school down in the description box below, because I didn't do that the last time. So that way you can call to find out whether or not this school is in the best interest for you and your family. For me, it was a godsend, and it was. So Colberry, again, is a boot camp. So it is a data science and data analytics boot camp. You can learn data science, data analytics. You can learn Python. You're going to learn about the different tier tools. So like the tier 2 tools, so like Power BI, Tableau, Click, data where you can go more in depth into data warehouse, ETL. You're going to learn how to code. You're going to do all of that. Okay. And so my thing is that I encourage you, if that's something you're interested in, contact them to find out whether or not it is in the best interest of you and your family. Again, I'm not going to say, here, sign up and, because this is the only boot camp. No, there are plenty of other boot camps. There's some self-taught stuff and there's other things. But my thing is that I just did what was best for me, because I can't self-teach myself data analytics. I'm not going to lie to you, because you got to be very disciplined to do that. And honey, I will wander off real quick. So what I ended up doing was, when my friend told me about this school, about Colberry, I joined. And then when I went to the open house, they have one every month. When I went to the open house and I learned, I felt like I knew enough for me to say, okay, I'll give it a shot. That's what I did. It just so happened that this was the best decision I had ever made. And I think one thing that I mentioned to somebody who asked me about the school was, the only regret that I have is the fact that I didn't do it sooner. Nothing in this world is free. And my thing about it is, I feel like the money that I paid to go to the school was me investing in myself, because no one else is going to invest in myself. No one is going to love me the way I love me. And I knew that I had to make a change in order for me to make a difference in my children's life. And that school helped me do that. Leading into that, so now I got so many requests about mentorship, for me to be their mentor. Alrighty. Okay, now I do not mind being a mentor because I currently am a mentor with the school that I was just talking about. So again, that's not me pushing you on the school, because you do not have to go to the school in order for me to be your mentor. Just know that I do meet with my mentees, like if not every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, and this is me helping them get into the field, get onto half of them are already in the market. 90% of them are in Power BI. I don't mind that. I do a lot of one-on-ones with my mentees as well, especially when they're getting ready for interviews. I do help them create resumes. I help them with their LinkedIn profiles to get them to make sure that they are more attractive. I don't mind being a mentor for you guys, but I do post in my community. I do post in the YouTube community when I'm hosting my session. I'm actually going to get ready to start going live on YouTube, so that way more you guys can join if you can't join a Zoom. Whatever questions you may have, if you want me to be your mentor, that is not a problem. I will put my my email down below. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I am very hard on mentees, and that's only because I want the best for them. I will show up if you do, but I cannot do it if you're not interested. I cannot want it more than you want it. The certification. Okay, so I also stated this as well. You do not have to be certified in order for you to be a data analyst. So in my video that I posted on how I became a data analyst, I did the 12-week class from February until like May. Then I jumped to July. But I did not say anything about June. That's because I took the month off that I needed to prepare for my certification, okay? So I took a month off to prepare and study and get everything I needed to do so that way I could take the certification. Yes, I did have to pay for certification. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like $225, $250. I'm not sure because that was way back in 2016. I'm not sure what it was. But I ended up taking the exam I took the certification on July 13th, 2016, and I did pass it. It is called the Microsoft 461 Querying Microsoft SQL Server 2012-2014, but unfortunately they discontinued this one, so I'm pretty sure you can take another one. But this was the certification that I took. So in the month of June, so from the time I finished that 12-week boot camp, then for a month I took off and I studied for the certification, and then in July 13th I took the exam, and then immediately I started applying for jobs. I took the certification because that was something that I wanted to do. Now, is it nice to have? Absolutely. That goes back to that Python situation. It is always good to have some sort of license or certifications on your resume because it makes you look really, really good. But again, it does not keep you from getting a job. What does your day-to-day look like? Well, my day-to-day varies, honey. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's different every single day. So so I'm gonna go ahead, turn my camera around so that way you can see what my calendar looks like. But before I do that, the very first thing you do before you do anything, and this is anybody who is working in the IT field, the first thing you do before you do anything is you're going to check your email. I gotta make sure that nothing has failed and that nothing urgent has popped up that I wasn't aware of, and no meetings that popped up that I didn't see the day before. Once I'm done looking at my emails, I have to then create my agenda. So that's why it's important for you to check your email, because sometimes if you do have meetings, you have to create your agenda around that meeting if it's required or something for you to be there. If something failed, it is a priority. I have to get it back up. So that's going to basically alter my whole day, because I don't know if it's going to take a few minutes to turn it around. I don't know if it's going to take a couple of hours. I don't know if it's going to take the whole day. I don't know if it's going to take a couple of days. I don't know until I get in it. So my thing about it is that in order for me to be able to create my agenda, I have to check my emails to see what has happened while I was asleep. Okay? Things failed. That comes with the territory. I don't care how well you created your report. I don't care how well you set up your automation. Things are going to happen and it is going to fail. And these are some of the challenges that you see. So let me show you what my calendar looks like so that way you can pretty much get an idea of pretty much what my day-to-day looks like on a daily. Alrighty, so as you can see right here, so today is Wednesday. Let me move my mouse over there. So I had a meeting this morning from 9 until 10. Then after that, I decided right here during this time, because I knew that I had like a 2-hour meeting. When this meeting was up, I went up and I went into the kitchen and got me something to eat for breakfast. I went straight into this meeting, and it was from 10:30 until 12:30. So this was basically a year-end meeting that I had to do. We finally got our budget for year 2025, and so now I have to make sure that all of the month ends and the year-end reports are set and ready to go. So this actually did take 2 hours to get this up and running, and this was a meeting with all of my managers. Immediately once that was over, I just went straight to lunch, and girl, I'm not gonna lie to you, I went straight to sleep. I took a nap. Yes, I did. I woke up exactly at 1:30. Then I have another report that I had to work on. I can only spend an hour on it because shortly after that, I had an actual stand-up meeting with my entire team. If you take a look at the couple of days before, as you can see, like on Monday, I didn't really have a whole lot going on. Like, I knew I was unavailable because I had a meeting, a personal meeting that I had to take. So, but as you can see, I don't really start my work until like really working until like 10 o'clock. Now, I have meetings at 8:30, but I don't do work until about 10. So even though I currently have my calendars scheduled out for the week, that will definitely change depend on what happens when I come in the next day. When I come in the next day and I see something failed, I know I have to move some things around. I'm in meetings at 8:30 in the morning or whatever, but me working and coding and developing, I don't do that until 10 o'clock. Now, if I don't have any meetings, I don't do anything until 10 o'clock. That's just my time, okay? So from 8:30 until 10 o'clock, I do absolutely nothing. Or I'm preparing, or I'm probably cleaning, or washing dishes, or what. That's my downtime, okay? But actually start working and developing and doing all of that, I literally start that at 10 o'clock. But now, unless something fails, then that changes. So your day-to-day is definitely different every single day. So it's a really popular question, an interview question. When you go on one, they'll ask you what's your day-to-day look like. Every company and every person is different, so they're not gonna, so whatever you tell them, there's really no right or wrong answer there. I mean, you definitely want to tell them that I check my emails first thing, but after that, there is no right or wrong answer, because some days you have a full day where you can just develop, and then some day like today, you're just in meetings all day long. Last question, your first week or your first month is like. Alrighty. So your first week is pretty much going to be like the first couple of days when you first start. First couple of days is all about HR. They're just trying to make sure that your benefits is set up, your direct deposit. They're going to give you a tour of the company, make sure you're settled in, you have your laptop and all of that. About day 3 or 4, you should now have your credentials to get into the different ticketing platforms, to get, you should have your licenses for Power BI, Tableau, or whatever you need license for. Whatever systems that they're working on, you should have your credentials for that, be able to log in. So that first week, once you do get access to like the database and stuff, take that time, especially if you don't have work assigned to you, which you should not really have work assigned to you the first week. But again, every company is different. Because I have known some people who's like, dang, this is like day 3 and I already got a ticket. It can happen, but you know, it's rare, but it can definitely happen. Once you do get access to the database and all of that, take a look at the databases, take a look at the tables, figure out what tables you're going to be using more than the other. Look at some of the other queries that was already written before on some of the other reports, or that's sitting inside of the SQL Server Management System, or maybe like for me, I use Snowflake. Just see how they're writing their queries. Figure out which, again, what tables are using more than the other. These are the things you definitely want to be taking a look at and getting to know you. This is the time that really start getting acclimated and everything, okay? So that first week is out of the way. Now, leading up, going into your first month, I would say probably about towards the end of week 2, you should at least start getting work assigned to you. If they are a pretty big company, then more likely they'll probably start you off slow, something very easy, and then they'll ramp it up. It's just, again, every company is different. But sometimes just be aware that you're not just going to get just one ticket. Okay. One person asked me, I saw one question that was asked was, how long do you work on a ticket and it's done before you move on to the next ticket? That's going to be the thing. you're going to have to learn to multitask. You're not working on just one ticket and then waiting for that to get done and then you can move on to the next ticket. So on my calendar, I have that, even though the vast majority of my work week is working on this one report, which is the alchemy and glia, but that's because I have to create a dummy report by Friday, right? And it's already Wednesday, so I have to spend a lot of time doing that. But I also put in another ticket, number 823, to make sure I get that done. I also have to rewrite the code for 1422, that ticket. So I have to spend an hour on that. On Friday, I have to recreate a whole nother report because I don't remember my credentials. So I have to spend an hour recreating the report. When I come back from lunch, and I'm gonna spend 30 minutes trying to automate it and then get it back out to the to get the new report out to the business line. So it is very important that you do know how to multitask. So it's not a case of, well, when I finish this, then I'll move on to the next one. No, you're going to have to say, well, I can designate an hour on this and then another hour on this ticket. I can designate maybe an hour and a half on this one, and then at the end of the day, I can probably spend 30 minutes on this. They have sometimes, like ticket number 823 and it's alchemy and glia, both are due on Friday. Okay, and then that report that I have to rebuild, I have to have that done by Tuesday, or shall I say by Monday, but I'm not in the office on Monday, so I have to have it done by Friday. So there's 3 reports that I have to get done by Friday. So your first month, you are getting quite a few tickets, and you are definitely now starting getting into your groove. It took me 3 months to get acclimated with the company. So it could take you 3 months, it could take you 2 months, it could take you longer than that. That just really depends on how quick you catch on to things. So I am going to tell you that first 2 weeks before you start getting tickets assigned to you, utilize that time to really get to know the company's databases and their tables and their columns, and use your data dictionary. I cannot express that enough. Your data dictionary will help you out a lot. So that is all the questions that I have. That's the ones that I've seen most of the questions. So a lot of you guys actually did say that you were struggling with, you don't know where to go from here. You finished with your course and now you're in terms of applying, you don't know where to go from here, and or maybe you're just saying, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do next. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is create a roadmap for you guys to help you figure out what you need to be doing. Once you finish this, you should be doing this, and once you do this, you should be doing that, and then once you do this, you should now be doing this. I'm going to create a roadmap for you. I'm going to get this posted after this video, so that way you know exactly, no matter where you are in the phase in your journey becoming a data analyst, you know exactly what to do. Whether you're a beginner or you're in the middle of that, you know what to do immediately after you finish that phase. I hope that helps you out a lot. If you feel like it does, give me a thumbs up. Just tell me that helps you, and I'll be more than glad to put that out for you. I'll try to get that video posted for you guys next week. So again, I thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you do have any more questions, again, don't forget to post your comments down below or your questions down below, and I'll be more than glad to answer those questions for you. Again, thank you guys for your support and your love, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Bye.